Hello, guys. I know many of you have been finding some challenges with the simplifying expressions and solving basic equations, especially as we prepare for upcoming homework and lesson. I make this video for helping you get ready and feel more confident. First, I want to talk about some properties. There are some properties that you need to know. Property of addition and multiplication. First one is called commutative property. Commutative property meaning is that you can switch, for example, A plus B, that's the same as B plus A, or A times B, that's the same as B times A. For example, 2 plus 3, that's a 5. And also I can write it 3 plus 2, that also 5. Meaning that you can add whatever first. You can add some number to the other number, and we can switch. 2 plus 3 is a 5, 3 plus 2 is a 5. So 2 plus 3, that's the same as 3 plus 2. And that's called commutative property of addition. For the multiplication, it's the same thing. 2 times 3, that's the same as 3 times 2. All of them equal to 6. Meaning you can multiply a number to the other number and you can switch it. It doesn't really matter. Now, second one, associative property. A plus B plus C. That's the same meaning as A plus B plus C. Or A times B times C equal to A times B plus B times C. Now, for the first one, addition, 2 plus 3 plus 5. That's the same meaning as 2 plus 3 plus 5. Think about it. 2 plus 3, that's a 5. 5 plus 5, that's a 10. Now, right hand side. 2 plus 3 plus 5, that's 8. 2 plus 8, 10. Meaning that when you have more than two terms, it doesn't really matter which one I need to add it first. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, you're gonna add them all. So order does not matter when you add them, and that's called associative property. Next one, identity property. But before that, we need to know what is identity. Identity of addition is 0. And identity for multiplication is 1. Now, then what is identity property? Any number plus 0 is itself. 2 plus 0, that's a 2. And any number times 1, it's itself. 2 times 1 is a 2. And that's called identity property. Now, 0 property. Any number times 0, it's 0. Like 3 times 0 is a 0. 4 times 0 is a 0. Any number times 0 is a 0. Now, most important one. We're gonna use a lot of time. That's why I bring it up this property. Distributive property. Distributive property is when we have a product of the factor and sum of, I mean, the product of the factor and sum is equal to sum of the products. So meaning that when I have A times B plus C, that's the same meaning as AB plus AC. For example, when you have 3 times 2 plus 4, that's the same meaning as 3 times a 2 plus 3 times a 4. Let's see it is true or not. By PEMDAS, parenthesis first. So 3 times 6, and that is 18. Now, 3 times 2, that's a 6. And 3 times 4, that's 12. So 6 plus 12, that's 18. Oh, they are equal. Then why we call it distributive property? You can simply distribute this 3 to two other terms. That's why we call it distributive property. This is a very important one. We're gonna use it. This is not your homework. I already uploaded on the Canvas and on the announcement. This is extra work. If you try to do homework and if you have a hard time with it, do this extra, and this video is gonna be helpful. Now, first one, which expression is equivalent to 6 parenthesis 2i minus 5? Something parenthesis meaning that there is multiplication. So 6 parenthesis 2i minus 5 meaning is 6 times 2i minus 5. So multiplication was omitted. Now we just did it. Distributive property. We can distribute a number to the parentheses. So if we apply, I can distribute 6 to the other two terms. Then 6 times 2y minus 6 times 5. 6 times 2y, that's 12y. 6 times 5, that's 30. So 12y minus 30, which is a C. One more time, this is not your homework. The homework is on the assignment page. Which of these expressions equivalent to -4 times 5 minus 2x? Again, another distributive property. I can distribute -4 to 5 and -4 to -2x. Before doing it, some of you get confused with negative times negative and negative times positive, positive times negative, positive times positive. Negative times a negative, that's positive. Negative times a positive, that's negative. Positive times negative, that's negative. Positive times a positive, that's positive. Simply, if there are even number of negatives are there, will be positive. If there are odd number of negatives are there, then it will be negative. Then what is negative times negative times negative? There will be negative, because odd number of negatives are there. Now here, -4 times 5, I'm going to distribute it. -4 times 5 minus -4 times 2x. -4 times 5, that's -20. One more time, minus times a negative, that become plus. And 4 times 2x, 8x. And also one thing you need to be careful is this is minus. This is called negative. What's the difference between minus and negative? Minus is operation. We are subtracting something. We are subtracting a number or expression. Negative is a sign. Negative number, positive number. 3 and negative 3. 2 and negative 2. And 1 and negative 1. Those negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, that's called negative number. So this negative is a sign. But this minus is operation. So don't get confused. Anyway, minus times negative or minus times minus, negative times negative, negative times minus, minus times negative, anything that negative, negative, positive, minus, negative, all of them become positive or plus. It depends on the cases. So in this case, minus times negative will be plus. This is not positive. This is operation. So our answer will be negative 20 plus 8x. One thing, there is some misconception. You cannot subtract or add negative 20 plus 8x. You cannot add them. Why? Because they are not like terms. Meaning that negative 20 doesn't have an x. So you cannot add or you cannot subtract. 8x has x in it, so it's not constant. Constant is a number. This is not just a number. It has x in it. This one doesn't have an x. So they are not like terms. So nothing we can do here. I know it feels weird, but you gotta get used to it. This is your final answer. There's nothing you can do. So answer will be A. Now, for number 3, for each expression, combine like terms and write an equivalent expression with a fewer terms. Combine like terms, again, like terms, when they have same variable or when they are just constants. You can add or you can subtract. A, this one has an x, this one has an x. Means you can combine them. So you can subtract or you can add. Right now, I see minus there. There's a minus. Again, this is negative. This is not operation because there's a no number here. There's a no number, and then we have right away 2x. So this must be a sign, meaning this is a negative 2x, not minus 2x. In order to operate minus, you need a number. Subtract from a number, but we cannot subtract from because there is a no number here. So negative 2x minus 5x. Negative 2x minus 5x plus 4. Oh, I switch plus 4 and minus 5x. Why I can do that? Commutative property. It doesn't really matter. When you add, you can just swap it. Now here, teacher is a minus. Yes. 3 minus 2 plus 1. That's the same meaning as 3 plus 1 minus 2. I can swap it. Same as commutative property we can apply here. Now, also, I notice some of you get confused with minus 2, negative 2, minus 5. Some of you get confused with this. Whenever you get confused, draw the number line. Say we start from -2 and we subtracting 5. So -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Now, we start from -2, and whenever we subtract, we go to left-hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -2 minus 5 is -7. -2 minus 5 is not 7. It's not 3. It's not -3. Until you get used to it, draw the number line. Then -2x minus 5x will be -7x plus 4. -2x minus 5x, we can apply distributive property. So I can rewrite them as in this way, -2 minus 5 times x. So what is -2 minus 5? We just found it. That's -7. Now B, there are like terms. There's a number, which is constant. There's another number, also constant. So this constants, I can add it. 16 plus 5 plus x. Why I can swap it? By commutative property. You can add whatever you want to do. Or I mean, you can add anything first. You can just swap it. 2 plus 3, that's equal to 3 plus 2. So 16 plus 5, that's 21 plus x. Again, there's nothing you can do. This is a constant. This is an x term. So they are not like terms, so you cannot add it. Now a little bit harder one. It has x, it has x. So they are like terms. So you can add it or subtract it. Also, this is a constant, this is a constant. So you can add or subtract. So first, I'm going to do 3x minus 5x. Again, if you get confused, then draw the number line. I'm going to start from 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, and so on. We start from 3, and I'm going to subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 minus 5, that's -2. So 3x minus 5x is -2x. So -2x. Now, this one is easy one. 7 minus 2, which is plus 5. Plus 7 minus 2, that's plus 5. Now, x1, t and e. Oh, they're like terms, so I can add or subtract them. One more time, we have -7 minus 3. Now I'm gonna show you a different way to approach this one. Instead of drawing number line, I'm gonna rewrite it as plus. -7 minus 3 is -7 plus -3. Why that? Why that is possible? Because plus times a negative, again, that's minus. So minus, I can just rewrite them. If I write it as a plus, it makes more sense. You're adding -7 and -3, then that become -10. Why? Because they're same sign. So you can simply just add it. So when you add 7 and 3, that become 10, but both of them negative number, so become -10. So 1 minus 7x minus 3x minus 10x minus 1. And what did I say? You can swap it by commutative property. So you will get 1 minus 1 minus 10x. 1 minus 1, that's 0, minus 10x. 0 minus 10x. 0 plus a number, 0 minus a number, it is a number itself. So we will get negative 10x. Last point for first page. 6x plus 4x, as I said, 6 plus 4 times x by distributive property. Then we will get 10x. Because 6 plus 4 is a 10. 10 times x, 10x. Now this one is confusing. So get ready. You guys learned it when you having a seventh grade math. You already did it before. One more time, -5x meaning -5 times x. So there are multiplication between. So whenever we solve these equations, we need to do inverse operation. Inverse operation meaning we just need to find opposite operation. Plus inverse of the plus will be minus. Minus inverse will be plus. Multiplication inverse will be division. Division inverse will be multiplication. Right now we have a times, we have a multiplication. So what do I need to do? What is inverse? Division. So I need to divide by -5 to both sides. Why I need to do both sides? Uh, uh, we're gonna learn more when we actually learn lesson 4. Now, -5x over -5. That's the same meaning as -5 times x over -5. -5 over -5 times x. They're the same meaning. -5 over -5, that's 1. Why? They are same number. A number divided by itself, that's 1. So 1 times x, x. So right-hand side, I will get x. Left-hand side, this one is more confusing. 65 divided by -5. Over is division. But you cannot divide by a negative number. So I'm going to move negative to the front. So -65 divided by 5. That's the same meaning. So simply, you just divide 65 by 5 first. In 6, 1, 5. 6 minus 5, 1. And 5 comes down. In 15, how many 5? 3. So 65 divided by 5 is a 13. But we have a negative in front of it. So it will be -13. So x is -13. Again, you really need to get used to these operations. Another one, we are looking for x, meaning that we need to isolate x. 6. So I need to get rid of this minus 6. So how I can get rid of that minus 6? We do opposite operation. Opposite of minus, plus. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Then 3 just comes down. Minus 6 plus 6, there will be 0. So plus 0 equal 10 plus 6, 16. 3x equal to 16. I'm gonna divide by 3 to both sides. Why I divide it? Because 3x meaning 3 times x. So what's the opposite operation? Inverse operation? That's a division. So I need to divide by 3 to both sides. Then 3 over 3 is a 1. So I will get x. And 16 over 3, that's a 16 over 3. Or we can change into mixed number. Here, 5 is quotient, 1 is remainder. So if I write it as a mixed number, I can write it 5 and 1/3. Then x equal 5 and 1/3. I'm gonna do one more question and call it a day. 3 times 10 minus x equals 6. Again, we can distribute it. Then 30 minus 3x equal to 6. 3 times 10 is a 30, and 3 times x is a 3x. Then, again, we need to isolate x term because we are looking for what is x. So I'm gonna get rid of 30. How? Opposite operation. This is a positive 30. So I'm gonna do minus 32 both sides. Then that cancels out, that becomes 0. So I will get negative 3x equal 6 minus 30. We subtracting bigger number, so it become negative. Negative 24. Now, negative 3x equal negative 24. I'm going to divide by negative 3 to both sides. Then negative 3 over negative 3, that become 1. 1 times x, that become x. Negative times negative, that's positive. So 24 divided by 3, that's 8. So x is 8. That's all for today. If I have time, I'm gonna make another video. Bye bye.